You know, as I said before, this is a learning experience for me too, because I've never really broke one down further than this point. I got the copper off, but the rest of it I just sewed in the shred pile, and I'm having a little bit of difficulty figuring out how to break this thing down further and uncut myself. I've still got some, I mean, there's covers on that stuff on the bottom. This is a learning curve for me. Hold on. It seems like these little round things is some kind of caps or covers or something to cover the bolts or screws that's holding that stuff together. I'm gonna have to figure out how to, I don't know. Let me get my chisel and see what I can do. This thing's turned into more of a challenge than I thought it would be. Yeah, this is, see, that thing's filthy too. It ain't no dang wonder. Anyway, that goes over there. I'll cut the copper off of that later. Let's see. That trash. Whew. Now, more copper. I see. I see. Said the blind man to the deaf man. I did tell y'all up front that this was a learning curve for me too, because I ain't never tore one down this far before. I got the copper out, and now, damn, you almost need a damn, you know what? I could almost burn that sucker off easier than I'm, well, let's see. sure that. Well, now will it come on? Maybe. You know, if anybody's going to be tearing stuff down like this, I would highly recommend getting one of these little plunge saws. I have done, you cut bolts off, there's a lot of things you can do with that, as you just saw. And I think they're around $25 at Harbor Freight. The blades are kind of expensive, but you can cut metal, you can cut wood, you can go straight into something, just like I'm going to show you here. See, I just cut a slot right in that piece of wood. They're very easy to work with. Now, I need my that right there, my Phillips bit. You know what? Come on, boy. I'm having a hard time seeing that screw and I'm having to err you. Now, plus I ain't exactly set up to do this right. The next one I will be. Now, come here. That one don't want to come off. I would suggest this is a mistake trying to do this out here in this darn sun. Cool as it was this morning, it's warm now. Now, that should come on off of there. Oh hell, dropped one of my drills. try and do it left-handed. One thing about me, the wood dauber, I write with my left hand. I can't write with my right hand, but I can't hammer stuff with my left. What do they call that when you're? Hey, going. I get this thing where I can hammer it. I can't get a good look at it. There we go. Now I dropped my hammer. This goes to show you I ain't set up right. Well, I keep telling you, but I'm going to tell you again, just so you what I ain't as smart as I like to think I am, or I like people to think I am. What did I do with my little, there it is. It's called not organized, folks. Scrap. Now, that booger should come on off of there. There's the motor. And obviously it is no good. But anyway, they pay so much a pound for these motors. I may micro scrap this thing and get the copper out of it. They're pretty easy to do, and I might make a video of that. But I pretty much got this thing down as far as it goes for the copper. I need to get this compressor off. And you know what? I ought to have some darn WD-40. More copper. And more copper. That's all the copper. I wonder if we got any WD-40. You know, I had some of that the other day. I found me a socket to fit it 1/2 inch. Just about home free with this one. You think that was... Alright. Well, if I did everything right, that should come right off of there. Oh, that, my friend, is why there's a lot of weight on these things. Let's see. Now, I ain't gonna test this thing right now, but anyhow, this is down to the bare bones. That's scrap. Goes over to the scrap pile. Now that is bare bones. That's bare bones, people. And that's the first time I've ever took one down that far. Usually I cut the wires out and the copper out and scrap the other whole thing. But this time I took both radiators out, all the copper, the compressor, the motor. And now I'm going to lay everything out so you can see what we have of value. Should be interesting. Okay, people. Here's all the goodies. That back radiator over there and the front radiator. But I hadn't cut the copper pieces off. That's these pieces like you see right here that I've cut some off. I'll be cutting all those off with that before I scrap them. When I take it to the scrap yard, the radiator's going just as is except for these copper pieces. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot of wire in these things, but you can see there is some wire. There's the cord for it. There's another piece of wire. That motor, I guess I expect that motor will bring about $1. It's kind of heavy. Unless I decide to micro scrap it, and I might try to micro scrap it just to see how hard it is to get the copper out of it. I have done them before, but I never did them, you know, kept track of how much time it took. And actually, I'm surprised at the amount of copper that's in one of these things. And I'm not positive, but I think this thing right here, this might be copper. I'll have to check that and see, but it's painted, whatever it is. But I think that's a dryer. It takes the moisture out of the gas or the oil or something like that. And of course there's your big bad capacitor. There's some grommets and stuff that come off wire. I'm not sure what this switch is, but I may open it up to see what's in it. And here's your little, some people call this an engine, some people call it a transformer. Call it whatever you want. I call it a transformer. But yeah, there's a pretty good amount of copper come out of that. Not as much as you would like, but this is a small this is only a 5,000 BTU air conditioner. So I would expect if a bigger window air conditioner like a 10,000 or a 20,000, something like that, it would have a lot more scrap in it. But basically, this is the bare bones. And of course the metal's laying over there. The metal's only going to weigh about, it might weigh 15 pounds. So, you know, for the shred. But this is all the goodies. And I gotta add, if you're inclined to take one of these things apart, do not use what I do here as instructions on how to do it. I'm just showing you how I do it. And I am by no means telling you to do it my way. You do it however you want to do it if you're doing it. But you got to at least know what you're doing. It's just like that capacitor over here. I kind of compare it to something like a rattlesnake. A rattlesnake can kill you. It's toxic. That's for dang sure. It can hurt you. But if you know how to handle a rattlesnake, then you're going to be all right. Personally, I don't know how to handle a rattlesnake, but that's just how I compare it. This is a capacitor, and it packs a charge in here. And what that thing does is when the motor starts on these things, it needs an extra push of amperage and stuff to get it running. It kicks on, and then the quick as it starts running, it kicks off. And that's what a capacitor does. I say capacitor, it's a capacitor. But if you know how to handle it, it's safe. But if you don't know what you're doing, then it can come back and bite you. So I'm just saying, I ain't telling you how to do nothing. I'm just telling you what happens if you do something, you do it wrong. So you best need to know what you're doing, or at least get somebody to tell you. And I'm not sure how I learned. Yeah, I know how I learned about capacitors, or capacitors. Well, I don't want to call them capacitors. Capacitor. I know I learned about capacitors that time I got shocked. And that was just pure stupidity. Not asking somebody before I jumped in there. Somebody said, oh, they got a charge on somewhere in there that hurt you. And same thing on TV and blah, blah, blah. And in the beginning, I never asked. I just went in there headlong, just like the first microwave I took apart. When I was ripping them magnetrons apart to get the magnets, I didn't know what I was doing on them first until I went on YouTube and I saw somebody, how they done it, and telling me what was toxic on that thing. And so, anyway, that's the goodies, guy. Hope it gives you some insight into what's in these things. Of course, bear in mind, this is a small one, 5,000 BTU. And a bigger one, a 10,000, or I think they got some window air conditioners that go up to 20,000. They may even have some bigger than that. But the bigger they are, the more stuff there is. And I just didn't want to waste y'all's time cutting these tips of copper off of these things. When I already cut some. And of course you saw the tool. You saw my tool that I use. And this is it. And buddy, that thing has been a lifesaver. You can cut stuff. You can have a bolt. Say there's a bolt in this tabletop, which this tabletop's aluminum, and I stripped. I can go right up against that bolt and turn that thing on, and I can saw that top right off. or I can plunge right into a piece of wood, straight in, and cut it. So it's handy. It is really handy. It's one of the biggest things when I improved my tools and stuff was getting one of these and getting a good plunge router. That I had a good, of course I sold my routers. I ain't got them no more. But anyway, I say if you're gonna strip this stuff, you need a good set of chisels. You need one of these. You don't need one of these, but it will sure benefit you tearing one apart. And the compressor, I'm going to test that later to see if it runs. If it runs, I'm going to make a small air compressor out of it, just to have something to blow up tires and stuff with around here if one happens to go flat. If it don't run, I'm going to cut it. And there again, I'll use this to cut the top off of that thing. It's got oil in it, it's got a motor in it, a little compressor in it. And if I wind up doing that with that one, I will video it. And we'll see about that. And then this thing here, you know what, let me just see right quick. Let me see something here. I don't believe that's copper. It's not. It's steel. So anyway, only copper's here and down here, this piece down here. Anyway, that is all, folks. So much for the AC teardown. I learned something. Actually, I learned a whole lot more than I thought I was. Actually, I'm not as smart as I thought I was. There's that red toolbox, the wheels on top. That top drawer is locked on that thing. It's welded with a padlock on it. And every time I move that stuff, there's stuff rattling around in that drawer. So I'm going to have to cut that sucker open tomorrow. I'll make a video of that and just see what the heck's in there. Heck, I might have some more goodies in there that I don't know about. But I don't know why they welded that. Well, maybe they couldn't. Maybe they lost the keys to the regular door lock. That could be it. But this thing's sure welded shut, but I can lay it over on the side and I can hear them falling around. Sound like tools. But I won't get my hopes up. But I'll do that tomorrow.